Something unusual is happening in the United States. Across more than 25 states, unemployment is quietly climbing. Not in a headline-grabbing crash, not in sudden layoffs, but through a slow, almost invisible erosion. The national jobless rate has risen from 3.4% to 4.3% in just a few months. A change that may sound minor on paper, but in reality, it wipes out millions of paychecks, one household at a time. The official story tells us the economy is stable. GDP continues to grow. Corporate profits appear strong, and on paper, everything looks normal. Yet the reality Americans experience tells a different story. Consumer debt has now surpassed $1.14 trillion. Wages remain stagnant while everyday essentials become more expensive. Job openings, once abundant, are vanishing faster than at any point since the Great Recession. Economists insist this is a soft landing, but for millions, there is nothing soft about it. The first sign of a problem lies in the numbers that don't appear in government reports. Over 8.2 million Americans are officially unemployed, but that's only part of the picture. Another 5.4 million have stopped looking entirely. They are labeled discouraged workers, a bureaucratic term that does nothing to ease the strain of reality. These are real people facing uncertainty with every paycheck, juggling multiple jobs, and stretching their income just to survive. In states like Ohio, Michigan, and Nevada, layoffs in manufacturing and logistics have surged by more than 27% since early 2024. Major retailers have quietly reduced hours to sidestep benefits obligations. The consequences are brutal. A workhouse worker who once earned $22 per hour may now be balancing two part-time jobs at $15 each, with no health coverage and no overtime. The workforce is running on exhaustion, and the statistics barely scratch the surface of this strain. Meanwhile, automation continues to replace human labor. Companies report record productivity, yet real wages, after inflation, are down 2.3% from last year. Essential costs, from food to rent, are climbing faster than most Americans can keep pace. Every grocery run or rent payment feels like a test of survival. The job market looks healthy in reports, but the underlying reality is a workforce quietly collapsing under pressure. The strangest part of this collapse is how controlled it seems. There is no dramatic market crash, no panicked headlines, no overt chaos. The decline is silent. People are working, businesses are hiring, but the quality of work and pay is eroding. The middle class, once the backbone of economic stability, is slowly disappearing. One layoff, one reduced shift, one rent hike at a time, America's economic foundation is being hollowed out. And this is only the beginning. Behind these invisible numbers lies a deeper truth about the U.S. economy, a structural fatigue that could redefine what stability really means. In the next section, we'll uncover why this soft landing is anything but soft, and why millions of Americans are quietly slipping through the cracks. Section 2. Problem unfolds. The hidden strain beneath the headlines. The reality beneath America's surface-level economic stability is far more unsettling than the numbers suggest. On the ground, the labor market is fraying, one state, one industry, one household at a time. While national reports boast low unemployment and steady GDP growth, millions of Americans are living a different reality, a reality that rarely makes the evening news.
Across Ohio, Michigan, and Nevada, manufacturing layoffs have surged by nearly 27% since early 2024. Logistics hubs, once seen as bastions of steady employment, are quietly reducing staff and hours. Behind each statistic is a person juggling multiple jobs to stay afloat. A warehouse worker who once earned $22 per hour may now work 2 part-time jobs at $15 each without health insurance, overtime, or benefits. This is not temporary disruption. It is a slow erosion of the workforce's stability. Retail giants, too, are masking economic strain. To avoid paying benefits, they trim hours, creating a system where employees are constantly on the edge of financial insecurity. Job boards that once overflowed with opportunities are drying up. Applications now outnumber positions by a widening margin, leaving millions discouraged and invisible in official counts. While government reports label some as discouraged workers, the label does little to address the daily struggles: rent rising faster than wages, food costs climbing, and essential services stretching family budgets to the breaking point. Real wages, adjusted for inflation, are down 2.3% from last year. Food prices have jumped 19% since 2021. The average rent has surpassed $2,100 a month, forcing families to make impossible choices between necessities. Yet the illusion of low unemployment masks this brutal reality. The workforce is exhausted, stressed, and stretched to its limits. Companies are investing in automation to cut costs, saving billions annually, but these efficiency gains rarely benefit employees. Productivity may hit record levels on paper, but for the average worker, the lived experience is exhaustion without reward. Behind every percentage point of low unemployment lies a story of financial fragility, deferred opportunities, and invisible despair. Even as this silent collapse unfolds, official rhetoric frames the situation as a soft landing. Industrial production appears steady. Corporate profits remain positive. GDP growth persists. But beneath this calm surface, the core indicators of economic health, factory orders, small business optimism, housing starts, are deteriorating. Factory orders have dropped 4.6% in a single quarter. Small business confidence has hit its lowest point since 2010. New housing starts are down 17% year over year. Consumer sentiment mirrors these cracks. The University of Michigan's index, a trusted gauge of household confidence, is near levels last seen during the 2008 crisis. What the data reveals is not a temporary disruption, but a structural shift, a silent strain on the system that no headline can fully capture. The government measures growth, but often ignores what that growth actually means for families, communities, and the workforce. GDP can rise, yet life can simultaneously decline when expansion relies on debt rather than sustainable production. National debt is now over $38 trillion, increasing by roughly $1 trillion every 100 days, the fastest pace in U.S. history. This illusion of expansion is financed, not earned, and the danger is that the downturn is invisible until it is too late. There is no dramatic market crash, no sudden panic, just a slow, controlled suffocation of economic resilience. Jobs exist, yet they no longer sustain. Work continues, yet households struggle. Production carries on, yet confidence falters. This is not a normal slowdown.
What we are witnessing is a structural fatigue, an invisible collapse in the foundation of the American economy. In the next section, we will dive deeper into the hidden truths, the erosion of wages, the rise of automation, and the widening gap between productivity and living standards, painting a picture of a system quietly unraveling before our eyes. Section 3. Deep Dive. The hidden truths behind the silent collapse. Beneath the surface of America's supposed economic stability lies a reality few are willing to confront. The headlines praise growth, yet the very foundation of the economy, the lifeblood of households, wages, and labor, is quietly eroding. Real wages, when adjusted for inflation, have dropped. Productivity is up, but only on paper. The wealth generated by businesses is no longer trickling down. It is concentrated, automated, and increasingly detached from human labor.
Automation, once a tool to enhance efficiency, is now a silent force reshaping the labor market. Factories and warehouses replace human workers with machines, cutting costs by billions annually. Corporations boast record profits, yet for employees, the story is starkly different. Fewer full-time positions, reduced hours, and stagnating wages. A system that once promised security now rewards capital while silently discarding workers. The erosion of household stability is equally alarming. Consumer debt has skyrocketed past $17.6 trillion, with credit card balances alone exceeding $1.14 trillion, the highest in history. Interest rates on these cards surpass 24%, trapping millions in compounding debt cycles. Nearly half of the average American's income is consumed by obligations, rent, loans, utilities, leaving almost nothing for savings or emergencies. The personal savings rate has collapsed to just 3.4%, the lowest since 2005. Over 60% of households report they could not cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing. Corporate leverage tells a similar story. U.S. companies now carry $13.7 trillion in debt, much of it borrowed when interest rates were near zero. As these obligations mature in today's high-rate environment, refinancing could erase profit margins overnight. The commercial real estate sector faces over $2.2 trillion in debt resets through 2027, threatening a cascade of defaults that could ripple through banks, pension funds, and investors. This isn't chaos of sudden crashes, it's exhaustion, systemic fatigue, and the slow thinning of resilience. Monetary policy, too, has lost its traditional power. The Federal Reserve has lowered rates cautiously from 5.5% to 4.25%, attempting to stabilize the system without reigniting inflation. But banks, wary of risk, are hoarding liquidity. Over $3.4 trillion remains on reserve, rather than lending to businesses or households. This controlled moderation is deceptive. Unlike past crises, when rate cuts acted as emergency lifelines, today's adjustments merely maintain the illusion of stability while the real economy gasps. The even psychological aspect of this collapse cannot be overstated. Confidence is evaporating faster than liquidity. Surveys reveal that 2/3 of workers fear job loss within the next year, and more than 58% report their income has failed to keep up with inflation for 3 consecutive years. Discretionary spending is down, luxury purchases are declining, yet payday loans and short-term borrowing surge. Silent stress replaces visible collapse. The American workforce is disengaging, not striking, not rebelling, just quietly surrendering. What makes this stage of the crisis particularly insidious is that traditional indicators, GDP growth, industrial output, market gains, still signal stability. On paper, the economy grows. In reality, the foundation weakens. Corporate profits and stock market highs now reflect liquidity, speculation, and concentrated wealth, not genuine economic health. Wall Street thrives, while Main Street struggles. The illusion of prosperity hides the silent collapse of everyday life, where households face rising costs, shrinking savings, and limited opportunities. The hidden truths of this collapse are clear. Wages are eroding, automation replaces jobs, debt is soaring, and confidence is collapsing. What appears stable is in fact fragile.